Howdy. Yeah, today we're just going to talk about cooking healthy, and sticking to plant-based cooking. Well, will not be all just plants. There will be eggs and butter involved, but it's going to be plant-based cooking. First thing I want to start with, clean kitchen. Keep a clean space. It makes you want to actually cook. It invites you into the kitchen, so just keep the kitchen clean. Second is just become really good friends with a knife and a cutting board, and just that's your bread and butter right there. Get it? Couple pans, that's pretty much all I use. This towel here is a simple towel. I'm going to place it right there, and then when I wash my vegetables with a simple white vinegar and water mixture, 1 to 3, 1 to I don't know, it's super cheap for white vinegar, and I put a crap ton in there and just spray the crap out of everything. So I'm gonna wash things with that as I go. I'm just gonna put them there to dry. I'm gonna place them on the cutting board and cut. I'm gonna throw pretty much everything directly into whatever pan I'm using for this, and just kind of time things out. What needs to cook longer than other things? If I want to get a lot of things in that are gonna be cooking at the same time, I will put some butter or oil in the pan. I will get it warm and just let it kind of be warm in there. I will start putting things in there, but I will not turn the heat up too high, so nothing is really starting to cook all that much. Then you can have a few things all cut up at different times in there together, starting to cook at the same time. So we're starting with nothing. I grabbed a few vegetables out. Usually they would be inside the refrigerator already, but this is, I want to show basically really start to finish just how it's just easy to actually incorporate vegetables into your life. Go buy them. It takes a little bit more time to actually know when you need more vegetables, because they're gonna go bad longer or quicker. You can't keep them as long, and you're gonna have to grocery shop a little bit more. Suck it up, deal with it. You're not even gonna grow it, you don't have to kill the cow, you'll be fine. Okay, so we're gonna do start to finish. We're making eggs. Let's pretend this is still morning, and we're making eggs right now. Pretty simple. You could just make some eggs, or you could make like a scramble omelet thing. It takes way too long to make an omelet. I just throw it all in there, mix it up with the eggs. With some vegetables. Why not? They really taste like nothing after you've cooked them in there with some butter and some spices. So, here we go. I'll probably stop talking as much now. I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure it out from here. I'm just gonna start doing it. So, cool. So, I specifically use golden potatoes. They're a little bit better than white potatoes. I just like potatoes. I'm a healthy person. I don't know that potatoes are necessarily needed in the diet, but I like them as far as something that adds just a little bit more satiety, because I cook them in a lot of butter, so satiety meaning keeps us full longer, and a little just more kind of warmth and friendliness to the meal, without any type of little bits of rice and potatoes, some type of starchy carbs to make us feel a little better if we're trying to stick plant-based. That can be a little helpful as far as making us not go off the rails and just go eat a bunch of Thai food and become carbitarians instead of vegetarians. So, here we go. Non-threatening generic music. Because I want to kind of show the whole thing. I don't need it to show everything, but we'll do a lot of, like speed up motion or whatever. So, just so that can kind of do like a general overview of things, because I want it to show the whole process. I'm just sitting here, I'm chopping it up. I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to toss it directly into the pan. There's no ins and in-betweens in that. So as I'm chopping potatoes right now, I like them kind of diced up and cubed, or cubed up a little bit. And I don't need everything to be perfect, so I will just go for a little bit more quickness and kind of chop into some things, because I'm not going to super fry these, so nothing's going to get burnt. I'm just going to kind of chop into them and make sure that they get cut up enough so that as I cook them, these will cook the longest for me. So these will be sitting in there the whole time that I'm cooking everything, so I don't really fry them on a high heat as much as they kind of cook and become softened over a while. I will, when I put them in there, I will turn the heat up for a second. And I don't mean a literal second, even though I'm a literal person. See, bam, a couple random chops into there. Doesn't need to happen, but I do it. I don't know. So I'm going to throw this into the pan now. So right now I'm just using a general wok. I threw my butter in there. I threw a lot of butter in there. And I'm going to keep adding butter the whole time. I just don't do it right away for everything. And also, it's really good if you flail your knife around while you cook. Friends, family members, everyone loves that. Especially if you're in a really crowded public space. So, oh, thank you, my lovely assistant there. So yeah, I'm just going to get those going, toss those guys around. Watch this. This is an interesting little thing. So see how you can't really get them to toss very well? Oh, let's add just a little bit of salt. Oh, that's maybe bad to... Okay, I guess my pepper's out. Make sure your spices are ready. You know what? 21 Seasoning Salute from Trader Joe's. Good go-to spice, especially for some potatoes and some veggies. So every spice that I'm putting in right now doesn't have as much flavor. Okay, see how I'm tossing it out there? See how it moves better now? So adding a little bit of grit in there, taking away some of that oil as well, will just help it kind of toss around a little bit better in there. So I'm gonna get those going. I'm gonna turn up that heat because potatoes do take a little bit more to cook. I like them a little crispier, so I put them on a higher heat. Every oven, stove, or whatever is different, so I can't necessarily tell you what heats. If you have actual gas, which is better than what I have, electric, then you can be much more controlled with what you do. I do everything from about 5 below. I don't really go too high above halfway on a lot of things, so especially with electric, it's very intense. So I'm going to turn that heat up. I'm going to let those guys kind of go, sit there for a little bit. I might even add just a tiny bit of extra virgin olive oil. Brought to you by Trader Joe's and a bunch of other places because I shop all around. Don't have to shop at one place. Okay, so we've got that going, right? That's going to be going for a little bit here, so I'm not super pressed for time. One of the things I really do like, and my roommate as well, who might be my camera person, also likes, is cauliflower. For the record, I'm cooking for 2. If it was just me, I would have used 1 potato. But, you know, 2. Get it? Okay, I'll stop. So, yeah. It's really great when you laugh at your own awful jokes, too. So, you can watch me struggle with a cauliflower wrapper, because it's always annoying. You can take care of cauliflower many different ways. I think the easiest way is to kind of get rid of some of this exterior, which they keep on for a reason. It keeps the cauliflower better longer. So you're like, what the heck, why is this here? It keeps the cauliflower better longer. So it's actually good to not get rid of the entire stem there. You want to keep some of the stem because that's actually going to help keep the cauliflower better longer. So we're going to go with that. So now I've kind of freed up that side there, so I'm kind of going to, again, not all things recommended for technique. I just kind of pry open a little area because cauliflower is difficult. So I kind of actually cut into it a little bit and kind of pry it a little bit and just kind of break it off there. And then I find usually some other type of bag that I've already got other things in, vegetables. I just have a bunch of different things in a bunch of different bags. And I'll just toss it in there. There's a few things you don't want to store together. Onions collect a bunch of just kind of stuff. They're kind of a filter, so storing onions with other things is up to you. We'll say that. Okay, so cauliflower. Cauliflower for me, and probably most people, has no flavor, really. It's just a texture. So I like to cut it up into, for this meal, I'm going to cut it up into pieces a little bit bigger than that potato. Because this is kind of like almost going to act as a meat substitute in a way. The potato and this together will act as a feeling of a meat substitute. Nutritionally, obviously, we're not talking about that. I'm not taking shots at cauliflower here. We need all the nutrients available in cauliflower as well. So just kind of have some cauliflower there. But I do not need to throw it in just yet. Because these guys, I'm going to let go just a little bit longer. I don't want my cauliflower to lose its firmness. I don't want it to lose some of that texture. So I'm going to let these cook a little bit longer on some higher heat before I worry about adding this. So now, I've got a little free time, don't I? So I'm going to take my pepper, and you can do a couple different ways. For me, the way that I start with it is just to kind of cut into one of those sides around and away from all the seeds and stuff like that. Clean out some of that. I don't really care about the white part and the seeds all that much. Doesn't bother me. So I have that. Sometimes I'll just leave this one, throw that back in the bag there. So spray time. So here's what's going to happen with peppers. I'm going to knock this down a tiny bit. Peppers, depending on how thick you cut them, will change the texture of the pepper itself. Well, all things, depending on how thick you cut them. Mostly what you're doing is affecting texture of your food. So when you cut something thicker, the outsides, you can cook it higher, and the outsides might get a little crispier, and the inside can stay softer. You'll have bigger pieces. You'll taste more of that in food. If you just want it to be little slivers as an effect, and maybe you crisp them on high, you can do all different types of things. Me, I just want them to be in there. I want them to just be part of it. I don't need anything fancy out of it. You don't need to cut it any fancy way. I just try to start cutting it into rows. Also, you don't want to cut on your hand. You don't want to cut this way on a pepper. It does not cut as well. Cutting into the inside the skin cuts the pepper much easier. Much easier. Like literally much easier. Check this out. Like, I don't know. I guess I kind of did it, but it's not an easier cut. So that's the way we do it. And we don't do it as haphazardly as I do. But this isn't a video on cooking safety. You should know how to use a knife by now. I don't recommend this content if you are not an adult in some way. So we can put those off to the side. I can put both of these in there for the same amount of time. Those can go in there together. That does not matter to me. Same with broccoli. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to, so you can do one of two things. So again, we have extra stem so that the broccoli stays better longer. And actually just by removing a tiny bit, you've actually just made it even fresher. So remove that tiny bit and you've made it a little bit fresher. Apply a little bit of moisture, which there's going to be moisture in the bag, to the stem here. So I am going to just pop off what I need. Just pop it off. Because the first part of broccoli is very easy that way. After that, you get all that stuff in it. Ooh, game changer. All right. So, that was technically my vegetable towel. Doesn't matter. These videos are not geared towards telling you necessarily what to eat, why to eat. I will add that information in there as I go, but it's more about just the fact of kind of trying to get people to actually maybe try and enjoy cooking a little bit, realizing that it's not hard to put some vegetables into your food. It's really not. Take some effort, care about it. It's incredibly significant to the well-being of your life. Like, it's not about longevity or living forever. I mean, it's about longevity for sure, you know. But it's not about living forever. Quality of life is incredibly important, and you know, if you really dig deep into experimenting with your food and what it does and how you feel when you eat it, you will notice very big differences from the food that you eat and how it makes you feel here and there. So those have been cooking for a while. So I'm just gonna throw this in there. Shut-up. Just like that. So I didn't go crazy on any specific vegetable, anything like that. You could maybe just do, okay, bam. Now I'm gonna turn that down a lot lower. It'll get kicked back up, but I want everything to kind of chill out a little bit. So I got a little crisp on those potatoes just on like one side because they really cooked one side pretty well because I let them sit on there for a while. And the rest of them are not getting fried. So those aren't going to be too bad. A little bit of crispy, a little bit of crunchy, but we didn't kill them. So now everything's just kind of chill, cook around. I'm going to toss a little bit more butter into there. I still haven't even used another utensil for all this, because it's just, why? Why would you? I mean, I guess technically at the end of the day, I will use that one utensil no matter what, so I could be using it right now. It really doesn't matter. Teflon, blah, 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 I don't even know what it is, but I like the bendy one. The bendy one is helpful. So, get that in there. You want the butter to get mixed around and stuff like that. Haven't added any more spices. Those spices that you add at the beginning, they cook out a lot. So you can add some spice at the beginning, but you don't want to add all of your spice at the beginning. You're going to cook a lot of that flavor out. So I just added back in, again, just some 21 seasoning salute. I'm not doing anything crazy. It's just a simple spice mix from Trader Joe's. So we're going there. I don't keep that on other pans. I do it only on my wok because this part is so far away, it does not get that hot. I'm not melting this. Please don't be that person. My parents are those people, unfortunately, I think. Don't be that person. I know another person is that person. Okay, so we're pretty much going right now. Like those
I
things
do
are
not
gonna be good.
fucking do that. I put it on the edge of the sink like a real man should.
Kale. Yeah, I mean, you can do whatever with it. I really don't care. I haven't even, like, nothing's even on the bottom of it because I've only used the top of it. I've got another pan right there that I can put it on.
Either way, I'm helping you make this video, you know, just cut me some slack.
Just trying to make the crowd happy, all right? Just trying to entertain. Just trying to whistle while I twerk a little bit, okay?
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. No one's gonna want this. This is gonna be way too long of just nonsense. Like, we just watched you make eggs.
Well, this one's going for 20 minutes already. But there's a lot of good content, honestly, that you could, like, chop up and...
We'll chop it up, yeah.
We'll chop it up.
You know what we'll do? We'll chop it up.
I'm just excited for the blooper reel.
Fucking blooper. Whoa! Just slip and fall. Kale. This is Lascianato kale, I believe, or something like that. I don't know, something like that. It's not the other kind of kale that you typically see. I probably just put a bunch of green stuff in my head. It's a little heartier, a little more nutritious, a little better in my opinion. I use both though. So I'm gonna chop up some kale. Oh my gosh, it's kale, everyone. Hello. The most feared yet desired of all vegetables. So kale, pretty freaking easy. You chop it up a bunch. Again, just kind of cross-cutting into what I already cut up. Cut it up pretty fine and tiny. Toss it in there. It's gone. You cook it with a bunch of butter and other things and some spice, and it's gone. So now, I did that slowly because I was talking and being a buffoon throughout. But, you know, typically 15 minutes you could have this all done, you know. Maybe 10, depends on how organized and and good you are. And as you keep cooking, you will just get better and better with your understanding of like, oh, I can throw this together, I can throw that together, I can just throw this in. So I don't worry about meals. Well, I mean, I don't worry about recipes and things like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't do. Everything I make is just meat and vegetables. This is plant-based, so I should say right now it's mostly like meat, or sorry, not meat, vegetables, eggs, and grass-fed butter. Grass-fed butter, free-range eggs, legitimate free-range eggs. Egg yolks should be orange. They should be orange. They should be as dark as possible. Those yellow ones with a shell that just breaks right away, those are garbage. So these are going. I'm going to turn that back up. We've now got kale, broccoli, cauliflower, peppers, and a little bit of potato in there. Okay? So our eggs just turn into vegetables. But we're going to throw some eggs in there. You like the way my voice sounds when I start to do that? That's pretty fun, right? We're going to throw some eggs in there. I didn't realize people on cooking shows would have to like adjust for that. They're pretty good at that. We're going to throw some eggs in there and just kind of scramble it all up. And we're going to do that now. Now.
That was a good take.
Oh, all right, let's do some egg stuff. Hey, egg stuff. Just focus on the eggs. We're gonna talk some eggs. Okay, so I bought some eggs these were from a market by our home. These are from Trader Joe's. Disclosure, I work there, so, you know, just for the record. So these are the more affordable and better version of, in my opinion, the Trader Joe's eggs. One of the ones we carry often, or all over the place. Organic, free-range eggs. So OTCO, I can't remember what the actual certification, Oregon something? I think that's an Oregon specific, or it's probably not. I just sound like an idiot. I don't remember, but these are legitimately quality eggs for the price for sure. These other ones I got were like actual, they like painted them and were from a place down here near us in Oregon. They were pretty good. It was a little mix. I had some yellow yolks, I had some orange yolks. Those were pretty good. I haven't tried the Wilcox Organic, again, free range, Oregon Tilth. I think that's the OTC. I believe that's the Oregon Tilth OTCO. And then Certified Humane. That actually does matter. Everything else you see on this package doesn't matter other than this organic, which is certified by Anticlimactic. Certified Organic by Oregon Tilth. So it's the Oregon Tilth Certified Organic. So, oh, hey, we just discovered what OTCO means together. New to Oregon, sorry. Certified Humane Organic OTCO. Those are the only things that matter. Everything else on here, even that saying free range, doesn't matter. Technically, they can be. There's many different classifications for what you can call free range. Doesn't mean that your eggs are your hens are actually eating natural stuff. So, bam. So that all just happened. Well, that was happening, and yeah, I'm just gonna grab these guys because I haven't cooked with these yet. I'm gonna pull my Trashakan over, and this is how I do it. Crack on the pan because it will start to kind of splinter edges of the pan. I crack on the corner of the counter because it's a rental apartment. And no, it just doesn't matter. The counter's not gonna get damaged by it. So I crack directly in there. Again, there's two of us eating. I've already put a lot of vegetables in there because I want my diet to be centered, even though I personally am not an actual vegetarian or just stick to plant-based philosophies. I do eat a lot of plants, and I believe in eating a lot of plants. So I eat a lot of vegetables, no matter what. So that's kind of the main staple of our diet, and that's cooked vegetables. There's also plenty we can do with raw vegetables, but the reality is, right now, this is what we did. This is it right here. So these eggs are gonna cook through. I'm gonna turn this heat back up a little bit because here's why. If I was gonna have to leave these eggs a little bit more, I would keep it down so that I could keep doing things around the kitchen as I was as I was making. But I'm going to be able to just sit here and just stir the entire time. So I'm going to turn the temperature up so that I can just keep it moving, and that they'll stay fluffy and they won't get too cooked in one area and not the others. So that's the end of this portion. I'll show you the final product, and that's the end of my voice. So I guess that was the first episode. Still very unsure what all of this is going to be, but I don't know, I kind of like doing it, so I probably will. Alright, yeah, bye. So I said I would show the final product, and then I kind of forgot about it, but this is what I did. I actually went ahead, I had a little bit of sausage, so I added a tiny bit of sausage to mine after. Whoopsie. I added some feta cheese, and then I added some Primal Kitchen here by Mark Sisson's company. Primal Kitchen Chipotle Lime Mayo, made with avocado oil and like free-range eggs and all different types of good stuff like that. So it's a little more expensive for sure, but it is well worth it. And yeah, I put it on everything pretty much. Yeah, you know, good fats. Good fats, when you don't have too much carbohydrates, the fats can be good. We'll talk about that another time. Cool. Later.